And now back to Hashtag Buy Diverse podcast, powered by the Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council on WGN Radio. Today, our guest is Gita Mirchandani, founder of Gita PR. Gita PR is a global communications and digital agency focused on brand visibility, customer engagement, and diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. The firm provides an intelligent fusion of creativity and experience, key to helping teams experience and enhance their leadership position while fostering a culture of innovative collaboration. With an ability to shape the news cycles through the art of storytelling, Gita PR works with industry champions and thought leaders who benefit from the attention of journalists, online media, influencers, and experts. Gita PR's values and DNA guide what the firm does and how it approaches each initiative. The authentic art of brand engagement and inclusion is an environment that fosters collaboration and encourages diverse thinking while creating culture of opportunity and growth. Gita PR is a minority business enterprise certified by the MSDC with offices in New York, Chicago, and Mumbai. Gita, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Vince. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. So, Gita PR, can you tell our listening audience a little bit about how you got started, how long you've been in business, and what the agency's up to today?
So we started our firm in the 90s, and it was sort of an organic evolution over the years. I just had my first baby. And I was home resting and got a call from a client and said, "Are you planning to go back to the company that I was with?" And I said, "I'm not sure. It's kind of fun, being a mom." And they said, "Well, if you're interested, we can be your first client."
Wow.
And I said, "Oh, my God, another gift from heaven."
Yeah.
So I said, "You know what? I can do this. I can be a new mom, and I can start a business." And so that's how we started.
That's phenomenal. That's a great story, too. And so opportunities like that lending themselves, and like you said, a gift from heaven. I know, again, in speaking with you, Gita, that you're big on philosophy and you're big on faith. And that philosophy of karma is what leads you to doing good. Is that also another part of what Gita PR does?
I think in many ways it is. I'm a big believer in good energy. Mm-hmm. And I think that this whole conversation about diversity and inclusion, I think it goes back to the DNA of companies and corporations and industries about doing good and being good. And the conversation about inclusion is really about doing good for each other. So that's kind of how we look at diversity and inclusion and equity and including people in the conversation.
Absolutely. And would you share that, or would you also comment that being a woman in the industry has had its challenges or opportunities that presented themselves more? And then, of course, focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion and its importance today, especially with everything that we've been experiencing over this past year and a half. Does that leverage you differently?
I think in many ways, being a woman is a positive. Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone sort of laughs when we say women can multitask. But I think that's also a plus when we're running companies and when we're running projects. And also, in many ways, leading with intuition and bringing that to the table and being empathetic to people on teams, to people that are involved in projects. So I think being a woman has been very positive in many ways. Yes, we've had hurdles. Yes, we've had challenges. I mean, being a woman of color has not always been that easy. But I think when people realize that you're talented and that you have a genuine interest in doing good and making the project successful, then I think most people come around and come to the table happily and wanting to do the project probably more dynamically. So we've been lucky. We've been very lucky with our project.
That's phenomenal. And I understand that you've worked with some very large brands, companies, some luxury businesses. Can you tell the listening audience a little bit about that? How has that been for you and your organization?
Again, I say a gift from heaven because we've been working in the luxury space for many, many years. And luxury changes over the years, right? Luxury can be a limited edition, but luxury can also be now the luxury of health. Absolutely. And having a safe environment has become more and more important. So we've been sort of like our clients and our clientele, we've evolved over the years. We've worked for some prominent Fortune 500 companies, but we've also worked with some rising stars and emerging brands. So bringing that different talent to the table and mixing it up is, I think, what makes us different.
That's phenomenal. And I think that also separates you from, again, maybe some of your competitors, and then, again, leveraging yourself as a minority business enterprise. And so can you tell our listening audience about what led you to getting your certification and utilizing that to your advantage?
I think that being a minority business for us was it was a natural. I mean, I'm of Indian descent, and I'm a woman of color. So it just made so much sense to us to be certified. And we've actually been certified for 15 years or so.
Congratulations. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, to me, I wear it as a badge of honor that we can bring something unique to the table. We've also had clients who valued that and then found that to be something extra special and that we could contribute something unique to the teams. So I think if you find a company that values that and understands that being diverse and inclusive actually adds to the bottom line in many ways, then it's almost a magical formula. And being that we work with a lot of global companies, they find value in the fact that we speak different languages, we can travel with them, and we can actually do stuff on the ground that sometimes their teams can't do. That's how we try to make a difference when we are part of projects or we're brought in to do the work.
That's great. I think you've listed a few different key initiatives that really separate you as an organization that's a differentiator, if you will, in the industry, which again speaks volumes to your sustainability and your growth. And like you said, having multiple languages to reference and working with those different types of clients, which also leverages you within that niche space that you live in as well. Are there some other ways that organizations can work with you? Because you said you want to work with large and small, medium and little, if you will.
Of course.
Yeah.
We want to work with, again, companies that want to do good and be good.
Do good and be good. I like that.
Yeah. I think diversity in many ways is about that. I mean, you look at even the big financial firms now and the whole idea about ESG funds. And many of them are really focusing on diversity and inclusion and how contributing to societal change is important for them. So even the large investment firms are looking at that more seriously and writing letters to their board and writing letters and putting them up on their website. So for us, diversity in many ways has always been authentic to who we are. So seeing that now as an important part of the conversation makes us more excited. And what we can bring is our expertise and, like I said, our authentic background in the space. And the other thing that we're finding from talking to companies is that there's almost this focus on the marketplace and how we look in the marketplace, right? Are we diverse enough? Are we good enough? Are we making headway? But then what we do is we kind of step back and say, what's happening inside culturally? Is the leadership taking the right actions? Are there the right people on the teams? Are there enough resources, those internal employee resource groups, to support talent, to support supplier? What's your messaging like? And all of that, it's almost like taking care of your home internally before you invite people to come into your home.
Sure.
So we always say, let's look at what's happening internally with your culture, with your talent, and then let's align that with what's happening in the marketplace. Because what we've found out is that companies that do the homework and do the legwork and have leadership that supports the initiative of diversity, equity, and inclusion, their growth and their visibility in the marketplace really expands. So we are very, very aware of those sort of internal and external alignment of messages and initiatives to really do this the right way.
For sure.
And that's something that we feel that is special for Gita PR to bring to the table for clients.
I like that. I like that so much, Gita. I think, what I'm hearing is that, again, Gita PR is about diversity, equity. They're about inclusion. It's important that diversity is authentic, is what I hear you're saying. And also your expertise and you bringing essentially your authentic self to the conversation has also led to you being extremely successful. And I think those are incredible takeaways for some of our listening audience to see and hear about what's passionate and what drives you within this. And I think it's important that when you do encounter a new client or an existing client, you also really assess if DEI is important to them. And that's what allows you to then end up doing the great work that you're doing with it. Phenomenal.
Well, we try.
Phenomenal. Yeah. This has been incredible. What would you like our listeners to know about Gita PR as we wrap things up here, Gita?
I think we just have to keep doing good work, sending good energy, and every day is a new day to do better.
Okay. And for our listening audience, how can they reach you? Social media, website?
It's gitapr.com. You can, visit our website. You can get a hold of us that way and let us know what you think. And we'd be happy to talk with you.
All right. Phenomenal. Gita PR, this has been a phenomenal conversation. You are valued. You are appreciated. I feel your energy through this podcast. So thank you for sharing that with us today.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you for including us in this.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to a very fruitful relationship as we continue to scale and grow together. You've been listening to #ByDiverse, powered by Chicago MSDC on WGN Radio. Gita, thank you again. Have a great one.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Vince Williams, and you're listening to the Chicago MSDC Minute.